You're the author of The Indian Way. That looks, I'm gonna say, that looks through the East, because you studied China as well. And what are they doing different? Are they doing something differently? And as a matter of leadership, management, and what is this?
Yeah, so we finished this study on India. We interviewed and studied the CEOs of the 100 biggest companies in India, and then looked at their companies to see how they operate. It's one of the few places in the world where the U.S. model is not dominant. And there are historical reasons for this. India was not that close to the U.S.
But they just avoid the American way, or they looked through to the American way, but build their own.
Yeah, they borrowed some things from the U.S., especially from Silicon Valley. So the idea of teamwork and engaging people, they borrowed that from Silicon Valley. It was not part of Indian business before, Indian culture before. They borrowed a lot from Japan. Particularly these ideas of empowerment and quality, but they did some things which are unique at the top. And some of that comes from Indian culture, particularly the idea that leaders should give back and that leaders should take care of their employees, and the idea that business should have a social purpose, which is very important in India.
There's something like business karma concept over there.
Well, it's a good phrase. The idea that your business should be doing good as well as making money. And the reason this matters so much, first, it's easier to recruit people if they think they are working for a company that is doing good. Second, it's easy to motivate people if they believe they're doing things that help society. You know, in the U.S., I think very difficult to motivate people with the goal of making some shareholder rich, right? It's very hard for me to get excited about making somebody else rich. On the other hand, we can see most cases, most countries, people will work for an organization that is doing good for much less money, and they work harder because they think they are helping, right?
They have a meaning.
They have a meaning to it, right? So if your business has a meaning, right, you can attract better people, you could pay them less, and you can get them more motivated. So that's partly what they do.
And what do you think the Western culture, the Western business can learn from this, and what is just won't work?
Well, what they should learn is the importance of meaning. They should relearn the importance of engagement, engaging employees. People really perform well when they care about what they're doing. They should also relearn that investing in people can really pay off. And you see all these things in the Indian companies. Now, some of them the U.S. Western companies used to do and now don't do much anymore, particularly developing talent. They don't do very much of it anymore. And it means they're constantly now chasing leaders from other companies. You quit here, you go here, you quit there, you go there, you quit there, you go there. And it's not working.
It's really predatory, this
very
kind
predatory,
of thing. And why look or focus on India and China? Is this something like a BRIC magnetism? Let's look at the BRIC countries.
Well, I think China everyone's interested in because they are doing well as a country.
That we're not quite sure
we're
what
not
it
sure
is.
what, right. India is interesting because the Indian companies that are doing well are in the industries where the West wants to be. So it's not low-wage manufacturing in India. It's healthcare, it's software, it's computer services, it's intellectual work, right? Where the West wants to be. We say, okay, we're not going to compete with China in manufacturing. We're going to be in these other industries, but India is doing well in these other industries, and their companies are growing very fast, and they're taking market share from Western companies. So that's a reason to pay attention to India in particular. I think China, we just are curious as to why they are growing so fast and doing so well, right?
Yeah, when you made your research in China, you looked to the big cities like Singapore, Hong Kong, or you look more abroad?
Well,
whole
we
country?
are in the middle of the study now, so we
Okay.
haven't finished it, and
'Cause
we're
there's
looking.
quite some differences
Yeah.
culturally.
Oh yeah.
saying.
So we're looking only in China, the country,
Okay.
and the big companies tend to be in Beijing and Shanghai and along the East Coast. But those we're comparing them to big companies in the U.S. and big companies in India, and they're also located in the big cities for the most part. So, and there are some differences across parts of China, but there seems to be some common themes as well.